Hey y'all, this is Brandon Sharp at the Industry Standard. Today I'm going to demo for you how to use the critical path countdown to opening day. So in the digital assets that you downloaded from the Restaurant Launchpad, double click to open the critical path countdown to opening day. So this functionality will be the same whether you're on Google Sheets or whether you're using numbers on a MacBook. All right, so I'm going to switch my Zoom interface around a little bit so that we can all look at the right one. Okay. All right, so we're in protected view here. So we need to enable editing. So click that button to do that. Make sure that I'm still sharing the correct screen. Here we go. All right. So the only value that you really need to worry about changing on this entire document is this one right here in cell A2. So it's highlighted there in yellow. This is your target opening date. That is the only date on this entire thing that you really need to worry about changing. I wouldn't change anything else, especially at this moment. Let's say you want to open on Groundhog Day of 2028. You're going to type in 2/2/28. And when I hit return, I want you to watch what happens to all the dates in column C. All right, so they all updated. So there's functionality built into column C that is a countdown function that is keyed by cell A2, and that is your target date. So this is all you should ever change. Don't ever change anything in columns B or C is my recommendation. They are controlled by formulas, and they will get out of whack if you start to mess with B or C. So anyway, there are about 161 action items on here. There's a lot to be done when it comes to opening a restaurant. So they're all so if your target date is 2/2/28, then I recommend that on 2/2/27 you start scouting potential restaurant locations. And ideally, you'll find a second generation restaurant space. So column D is all of the task descriptions of items that you need to do. So this is your 1 year to-do list for opening a restaurant. Item E are my notes, just to give you a little extra insight into each one. For example, so for your restaurant mission statement, what problem are you solving? What niche are you filling for diners in your area? For developing a pro forma, this template is included in your launch kit. Preparing an opening budget, also included in the Restaurant Launchpad. So if you need to add a task to this, let's say your county is overrun by raccoons, highlight a row, right click. You can insert one row above, just like that. So you need a raccoon inspection and permit. So this cell is going to be empty. That is C85. So you can see there's a function here in C84. Highlight C84. See that little dot right there at the bottom right of C84? Put the crosshairs right on that. Click and drag it. And you will end up with that cell that you've just added, sorry, that row that you've just added, put into the same countdown function as all of the rest of them. So let's do that again. So 104. Insert. So what is something else that you might need to do? You might need to hire a kitchen manager. Maybe that's not on here anywhere, and that's something that you need to do because you're not going to have a chef or a sous chef. So let's highlight B103 as well. Click and drag that down. Highlight C103 as well. Click and drag that down to extend the functions. So that just falls right in with everything else that is on the countdown. So if you want to add your own notes, that can easily be done. So highlight row D, right click, insert, okay? And that gives you another row to the left of what was row D, which is now row E. And you can put your own notes in here. So let's just say, well, we'll call it my notes because it's your notes. Now, that's not a lot of room to type. So put the crosshairs here on the edge of that column, span that column to make it as wide as you want. You may want to, let's just highlight it a different color so you can tell that they are your nodes and not part of the countdown. And as you can see, these are all empty with no functionality in there, which is what you want. But you're going to put your notes as the heading up here. Like that. All right. And that's really what you got to do. So then what I would say, as you begin knocking things out, you're going through your critical path, you're going over it with your team every week, set the expectation. And as you get closer, you're going to be going through this every single day. And then you're going to be going through it twice a day. But when you're this far out, it may just be you on the project. It may be you and a lawyer. It might be you and a real estate broker, or maybe one investor or something like that. But as you have scouted restaurant locations, after you have hired an attorney, go ahead and highlight that cell to mark it done. So that's an action item that you can do. The visual cue. Let's see. Once you've incorporated your business, boom, highlight that to mark it done. Okay. And that's how the critical path works.